Good morning, happy hump day, and I would be remiss if I started today with mentioning that my high is happy 2 years. It was actually on this day 2 years ago where I was picked up from my absolute lowest. Thanks to, in no small part, by a group of people who have become my second family. And I can genuinely say that so much has happened in the last 2 years. I find it rather hard to believe I was even that sad at all. I mean, again, I said it yesterday. I know why I was sad, and I know why, to be honest, I still remember that day like it's yesterday, but to go from that to where I am right now, it speaks a lot of what's happened in the last 2 years. And to those people that I just mentioned earlier, thank you. You very well have changed the course of my life for the better. And I could not possibly thank you enough for that. Now to get to, my act of kindness was someone asked me to do something today, and I do plan on doing it. So basically I said yes to something I was asked to do. So that was my act of kindness. And my low is this thing I have to do did require me to get up a little bit earlier. And by a little bit earlier is I saw what it was and I had to jump out of bed. So forgive me if I'm a little bit tired this morning. That being said, you knew this was coming. I mean, the last time I did an ARC Thoughts, it was the granola saga. And I talked about how, for all intents and purposes, it did end on a bit of a cliffhanger. You know, Frieza is now the predominant evil being in the universe. And every Dragon Ball fan who read the manga is like, how are Goku and Vegeta going to stop this? And what do we get? We get a completely new saga based off of a movie. A movie that is canon, mind you. Full stop. I never got a chance to see the movie. I know, because here's the thing. In the last, I'd say probably 10, 15 years, American audiences have been getting pretty lucky with, increasingly lucky, I should say. Increasingly lucky when it comes to, getting anime movies. I mean, we're always going to get stuff like, Miyazaki films, Studio Ghibli, whatever. We're always going to get those. But anime movies that's from Toei Animation, like the Dragon Ball movies, the One Piece movies, My Hero Academia. I don't know if Toei does that series, but the point is, it is kind of a crapshoot that we get those movies, especially in my area. I mean, I was thankful. Battle of the Gods never came to my hometown. I saw that online. Resurrection F never came to my hometown either. Had to see that online. Super Broly, though, did come to my town. Dragon Ball Super Broly, that did come to my home area. And to this day, it's one of the greatest movie experiences I've ever had. We never got Superhero. So I wasn't able to... here's the thing. There is one theater that is technically in my area, but it's in Ithaca. And for those of you who are from the Elmira, Horseheads, Big Flats area, the 607, specifically my area, it is kind of a hassle to get to Ithaca because it's a whole lot of driving in the middle of nowhere. And once you get to Ithaca, to get to like the main part of the city, you gotta drive past like 20 stoplights. And Lord knows how many of them are gonna be green when you upon arrival. So, yeah. Point is, I didn't get a chance to see Super Broly. But I knew I would at some point. Sadly, I wasn't able to watch it now. But at least I'm being honest about it. Full stop, it's going to come across that I'm going to think that the manga was kind of pointless to adapt it when the movie already came out. Because Broly came out, but there wasn't any manga from it. We know it's canon because we know what takes place after the Tournament of Power. Superhero, I suppose, takes place after the Granola Saga. The problem is, though, some gaps, at least that I know of, haven't been filled yet. Like, how did Broly, Chile, and Limon wind up on Beerus's planet? I mean, everybody was hoping that would happen, don't get me wrong, and we're glad it happened. But how? That's like something that hasn't been answered to my knowledge. Other than maybe Goku offered and they just said, hey, let's go. I don't know. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about superhero. First of all, okay. The Red Ribbon Army clearly is just some sort of force that won't go down permanently. Not to mention, like, it really is a shame that the Red Ribbon Army is evil because they have technology that creates androids capable of fighting, Saiyans, Namekians, straight up gods, which, even though Goku and Vegeta, they have god energy, so the point is, like, and not to mention, for all intents and purposes, Dr. Gero legit created perpetual energy. Yeah, the androids don't tire. Like, they never get tired. They just keep going. Like, don't get me wrong, I get why Akira Toriyama made it that way because, it'd be easy just to make another movie where, Frieza is the bad guy again. So it is actually kind of nice to see the Red Ribbon Army after the Cell Saga, pretty much. Even though, let's be real here, Cell was acting on his own. Yes. Cell's programming was based off of what Gero, formerly a Red Ribbon scientist, programmed him to do. But let's be honest, if the Red Ribbon Army existed when Cell was around, and they heard that Cell wanted to destroy the planet, they'd never abide by that. Even they actually have standards. Although I will be talking about Cell in a minute. It really is nice to see, Pan grow up a little bit, to be like, obviously not a baby anymore, but, a little kid who actually has powers as well, which is great. It's really refreshing to see that Goten and Trunks aren't kids anymore. They're teenagers. They look like they were teenagers. Like, probably, 15, 16 years old. Give or take. So, that's really interesting. I know Gotenks is rather divisive, but I really would have liked to have seen Goten and Trunks successfully make Gotenks. Successfully, instead of, fat Gotenks. While it was a funny gag, though, I'll say that. But that's, full stop, I really did like this saga, and listen, I've been recommending the series the entire time, why would I stop now? the way that we got to the climax of this movie, or saga, if you will. I mean, it is nice that we did kind of get Cell again, albeit somehow it's a lesser version of Cell, but somehow it's slightly more powerful. Again, Red Ribbon Army technology. And, I mean, okay. I think I beat around the bush long enough. You want me to talk about Piccolo and Gohan? I guess I'll start with Piccolo first. Orange Piccolo. Love it. You know, here's the thing. Piccolo, in his own right, is a truly powerful fighter. He is. I mean, let's be honest, Goku and Vegeta take up too much of it. I mean, even in the Broly movie, Piccolo really was just there to give advice and remind Goku and Vegeta how to use the fusion dance. That's all he was good for. Granted, it was still cool. And, you know, he did partake in the Moro fight as well. But we barely see any of the... You know, I think that's why it's refreshing. If you never saw Superhero in theaters, or the movie in general, if you read the superhero saga in the manga, it is refreshing to see Piccolo again, because previously it was the Moro saga when we saw him. Meaning it was a good year and a half or so reading the Granola saga that we never really saw Piccolo very much, if at all. So that's refreshing. And, I mean, it is about time Piccolo got a new form. It is. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's called Orange Piccolo, but yeah. I just wonder, like, of all things, why orange? But then, listen, Akira Toriyama, God rest his soul, there was always a method to his madness, and I'm sure there was a great reason for this as well. And then there's the man of the hour, Gohan. Now I have to ask the question that virtually every Dragon Ball fan has been asking since the end of the Cell Saga: where on Earth was this all this time? I mean, years ago in an interview involving the Buu Saga, someone asked, like, why did you take Gohan out of the spotlight and bring Goku back? I mean, don't get me wrong. You can't really have Dragon Ball without Goku. No question. But Akira Toriyama said that Gohan isn't really capable of being like a strong lead or something. No, he is. You just gotta let people get used to that. I think Akira Toriyama was under the pressure of the fact that since he killed off Goku, everybody wanted Goku back. Which I do get. But the fella's trying to tell a story. I guarantee. I mean, listen, Dragon Ball by no means is a perfect series. I mean, I have talked about in the past of how, and it's really no secret, that Akira Toriyama's editor, particularly in the Cell Saga, really was like putting Akira Toriyama in a chokehold. Not really letting him tell the story he wanted to tell. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad we got the story that we got, but Lord knows how much different it would be if Akira Toriyama was just allowed to cook, you know? And I know why this is being... Listen, if you don't know why this is called Superhero, basically one of the androids that they created, develops, a superhero complex, and he wants to, do good and stuff. And technically they die the hero as well, which, that's cool. And I also I remember what I said earlier, because it's actually not Cell, it's Cell Max. I mean, for reference, it's specifically Cell's form after he absorbs Android 17, just Android 17. Although, shout out to Damon Clark, the guy who voiced Cell way back then. And he actually voiced Paragus too. He was good. He was good. Kyle LeBear as Gohan. You know, it's great to hear him again. Chris Sabat as Piccolo and Vegeta. Always great. Sean Schemmel as Goku. Monica Rial as Bomi. The cast still kills it in what they do, you know? I mean, I'd be remiss to not talk about the cast. I'll talk about the recasting of Broly. If you don't know, years ago, the original voice actor for Broly, Vikman Yaga, found himself in some sort of controversy. I don't really want to get into what it is. But obviously they had to recast him. So I believe now he's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch. Which, I mean, it's Johnny Young Bosch. The guy always does quality work. You don't get hear any complaints from me. I mean, I remember, here's how old I am. I remember Johnny Young Bosch back when he was the Black Power Ranger. Yeah, I'm that old. Always a Power Rangers fan. I mean, listen, I was a Power Rangers fan before I was a Power Rangers fan before I learned about, that it comes from Japan, obviously. So, having Gohan be the one to defeat Cell Max, I really did find that satisfying because it did harken back to the Cell Saga, where Gohan, for all intents and purposes, became the new protector of Earth. I just wish Akira Toriyama was allowed to keep that going. Pretty sure a lot of people believe that as well. But having him do the special beam cannon, that's a nice touch. Because it was Piccolo that trained Gohan how to fight way back in the Saiyan Saga. Again, there's a lot of really great and arguably fan-servicey stuff in this movie that I'm really glad that people got to see. Well, really, Saga. Again, and listen, everyone pretty much spoiled the movie. And the manga pretty much retold the entire thing verbatim. Like, if you haven't seen the superhero saga at all, what on earth are you doing? I mean, yes. And I'll talk about this more in September. Because, for reference, here's what I plan on doing. Next month for Arc Thoughts, I'm going to do Daima. Yes, Daima is canon, and I'm definitely going to do an Arc Thoughts on it. Because there are things that need to be said about it. And in September, I plan doing one more. Actually, even if something new was announced, I really wouldn't be able to talk about it yet. But in September, I plan on doing one last Arc Thoughts, specifically talking about what the future of this series might hold. That's my plan for the moment. But I can say this. It really is great seeing Gohan and Piccolo get in the spotlight again and have new power. I mean, Beast Gohan? Dude. That's awesome. And I like how they say that it's just like when Broly goes, into rage mode, but Gohan can control it. He could teach Broly how to do that. That'd be so cool to do. But I'm getting ahead of myself. For now, I can say Superhero was definitely a story where by the time it was all over, you definitely want to do better. Be a superhero, I mean, listen, every little boy at some point in their lives, whether they realized it or not, even little girls, whether they realize it or not, they want to be a superhero. They do. There are some adults that feel that way too. Some people are actually live out those dreams. They're like firefighters or police officers and stuff. And that's cool. Or people do, big things that people can look up to and be inspired by. That's being a hero also. I mean, they only say don't meet your heroes if it turns out your hero turns out to be a real jerk. Personally, I've never really been anyone's hero per se. But if I was, I would definitely, hold out with reverence and respect. And I would do all I could to simply, keep doing stuff to make him proud. That's all I really can do. yeah, this was, well, technically the second to last, manga arc that we got. Yes, Diamond isn't a manga, but that's not what I was referring to. Don't worry, all will be revealed in the coming months. I hope y'all like this video. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all you guys watching your name. But you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to us, we're here to let you know back. Take care and make good choices. 6 on 7 on day, baby.